Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Calexico City Council Redevelopment Successor Agency Financing Authority regular session at approximately 6:31 p.m. today, July 7th, 2015. I'd like to note the attendance. Everyone is present. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call up Reverend Miguel Campos from Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church for the invocation.
Those that hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on eagle wings. They will run and not grow weary, walk and not grow faint. Dear God, I'm full of wishes, full of desires, full of expectations. Some of them may be realized. Many may not. But in the midst of all my satisfaction and disappointments, I hope in you. I know that you will never leave me alone, and you will fulfill your divine promises. Even when it seems that things are not going my way, I know that they are going your way, and that in the end of your way is the best way for me and for all. And that at the end of your ways, I will give you thanks. O Lord, strengthen my hope, especially when many wishes are not fulfilled. Let me never forget that your name is love, mercy, and hope. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father Campos. I'd like to defer to our city attorney for items discussed in closed session.
No action was taken on either item in closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. Now it comes to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hurtado. Is there a second?
Second to discussions.
Go ahead, Mr. Kim.
I'd like to move the number 13 City Council reorganization to before the presentation. I believe that mayor terms end up at early beginning of this meeting. We should elect a new mayor at before the meeting, just like we used to do every year.
Okay, there's a.
I'm second that motion, Mayor.
Okay, this was just for the discussion of the agenda. So we need a vote on the approval of the agenda, and then if Mr. Kim would like to make another motion on moving that item up, is that the way it works?
Is there a different motion pending right now for the
There's a
approval of the
motion to
agenda?
approve the agenda, and there's a second for discussion.
Okay. The motion regarding the approval of the agenda should be voted upon before the next motion is stated.
I withdraw my second then.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve the agenda by Ms. Hurtado. Mr. Kim withdraws his second. Is there a second? I will second. All those in favor of approving the agenda, please respond by saying aye.
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 No.
Those opposed? You're opposed, Mr. Kim. You're opposed, Mr. Castro. Mr. Real, were you opposed on this one? This is just to approve the agenda as is. As is. Okay.
As it is.
So the motion carries to approve the agenda as is, 3-2.
Mayor,
Yes.
I say aye.
You mean approve it without moving to front?
No,
That's what I'm saying. I think this
can
confusion
you
is here.
repeat the motion?
The motion was to approve the agenda as is. And Ms. Hurtado made the motion, I seconded it. Mr. Real, Ms. Hurtado, and myself approved the motion as is. You and Mr. Kim voted no.
Because I wanted to have at the front.
He wanted to move it to the front.
Yes.
So are you going to vote no on that then?
No, I voted yes on approving the agenda.
Okay,
No,
vote
so-
as is.
But as is means that we're not going to move up to the front. No, it's not.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the agenda moving up 13.
So we have to vote.
My understanding is that there was a motion made to approve the agenda, and it was approved.
No, it's not approved yet. We're not counting yet.
All right, okay. There was a motion by, okay, let's step back a bit, okay?
Would it be easier if I just rescinded my motion?
Whatever you want to do, you made the motion to approve the agenda as is. Are you rescinding that motion?
Well, I felt that we just approved.
I
Is
thought
it getting
so too,
confusing?
Yeah, but now, Mr. Real, are you having a second thought, wanting to move item 13 and 14, or is it just 13? 13 and 14, or just 13?
Just-
Okay, so you want to rescind your aye vote on this one, on approving as is? Okay, so the motion dies. Now, would you like to make a motion, Mr. Kim?
Okay, he made,
The motion is to approve the agenda, moving item 13 and 14 before the presentations or after the presentations? After presentations. Okay, so we're going to move them right after number 5. We'll have 13 and 14. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kim. I think he went first. All those in favor respond by saying aye.
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 Aye, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's unanimous. So the approval of the agenda falls with items 13 and 14 after item number 5 in presentations. Okay. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Presentation number 3, presentation by the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District on the installation of exercise stations in Kermit Park, Cordova Park, and Nosotros Park.
Hello, my name is Eduardo Rivera. I'm here on behalf of Heffernan Memorial, and we have various board members in the audience. And if you could please stand, so we got Ms. Fernandez and Ms. Grijalva, and I'm not sure whether other board members are here. But anyway, Mayor, good evening, council persons, good evening, city manager, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm here basically for a very short comment concerning Heffernan and the city's initial discussions concerning 3 of your parks. Kermit Park, Adrian Cordova Park, and Nosotros Park. I believe a week ago, Monday, Mr. Warren, Mr. Finley, and the board of directors of Heffernan met, and there was a discussion and there was an agreement that we come before the City Council today to announce Heffernan's donation of approximately $103,000 worth of equipment that's going to be divided equally at the 3 parks. And this equipment is going to be wellness equipment that is ADA compatible. It is for the use of all ages, but it's specifically directed towards the persons of our age group and elderly persons like myself who would want to go out there and use the exercise equipment. We obviously are going to put together a memorandum of understanding with Mr. Warren, and that's going to be presented to you, but we wanted to advise you that the exercise equipment has been voted on by the Board of Directors of Heffernan. It is been ordered. We believe that it's going to be here sometime in September or October after it's manufactured back east. The MOU that we are going to prepare and propose and discuss and present to you is for your acquiescence and your acceptance of the equipment for these specific parks. And we are going to address all the issues that are concerned with the equipment and so forth. One of the discussion items for your consideration is that in conjunction with the city has agreed to allow some of its employees to actually install the equipment at the 3 parks, and we're all going to sit down and put that in writing so all of you can review and have any questions and modify, change, add whatever you wish in that regard. But we hope that this will be the initial phase of further funding for these parks or additional parks through Heffernan Memorials. Plan to provide exercise equipment for the wellness of the community and for the health of the community. And I'll be more than glad to answer any questions that you might have concerning that. I know you have a busy agenda, so I want to be brief. And other communities like Palm Springs has these wellness parks. One of our board members was actually up in Beverly Hills, and they've got a wellness park up there. But you can imagine what type of wellness park they might have with a tax base of Beverly Hills. But anyway, we're going to do our best to provide the best equipment, the best workstations and health stations for our community at these 3 parks. We want this to be the initial phase for other parks and other amplifications of the wellness equipment scenario for the city of Calexico's residents. So any questions you might have, that's all I have to say, unless you wish to hear anything else.
I have a question, sir. Mr. Rivera, is there designs that are going to be available to the public so they can see how the design and the layout is?
Yes, we can do that. There have been some selections that have been made, and most of the equipment is ADA compatible. And your input, the public's input, obviously is wanted. It's thought after. This is a program that is community-based and for the community, and we want everybody to have a say in it. We just are in a position right now to contribute this amount of equipment for the health and wellness of this community's residents.
Anyone else have a question or comment for Mr. Rivera?
As far as that, I have an idea of which parks they want to use and where they actually want to put
Yes.
the exercise equipment. But one of the things that I think should be looked into is the possibility of shade for these units, because during July, August, they're going to be, it's 120 degrees, and the plastic on these things is going to get up towards 100 degrees, or maybe even hotter. So just something to keep in mind and see, is that something that plans as far as
It's something that's being discussed. And obviously, 4 months out of the year, during a good portion of the day, that will be a very, very difficult situation for anybody to tolerate. Most of us just don't get out and do exercises during this time period, during the summer months. We just don't do it in the middle of the day. We just don't. But early in the morning, the temperature is usually pleasant. In the late evening, it's a little bit less pleasant, but it's bearable. But yes, I think that's a very definite consideration. I know that the city had plans, or there was discussions by the city of replacing some of your current shade structures with other shade structures. One of the discussion points was utilizing the shade structures you're going to take down and incorporate them into these parks. But this is the first step, and we just wanted to advise you. We want to continue the conversation so that, as you've mentioned, yourselves and the community can have an input as to the actual placement so that they will be used, and we are very excited that this opportunity will be available to a lot of people.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. And
Thank you.
Thank you for the Heffernan Healthcare Memorial District on providing these wellness parks in our community. Item number 4, presentation by the Calexico Parents Athletic League regarding tree planting in city parks. Okay. Weren't they supposed to have something yesterday?
They did have an event, a media event yesterday, but they were asked to be on the agenda, and so we do have them on. So I don't.
Item number 5, presentation by Chief Bostic on management study for the Calexico Police Department prepared by Veritas Assurance Group Incorporated.
So good evening, council members. The report that I've attached in here is a very lengthy report. It's about 100 pages long, and it's been about 6 months worth of work by a couple of professionals in the policing field that work for the California Peace Officers and Standards Association. And what that audit consisted of is they looked at the entire operation of the Calexico Police Department and everything that we do, and this report is a series of recommendations of how to get our department back on its feet and to meet all of the state post standards as a police agency. And as you can see, it's pretty lengthy. What I wanted to share for just a few minutes with the council is the real crux of the issue is we don't have enough civilian employees to run the department the way that we should. And after the 2008-2009 crunch in the city, I don't think any of us were here during all of that except as residents and weren't in leadership positions, but there were some decisions made to pretty well gut the civilian staff of the police department, which, by the way, every police department in the country usually does when there's a downturn in the economy. And then they fall to the same problem we did. Now we're so far behind on the civilian operations that we have to find a way to hire some more civilians to bring the agency back to its full capability. We're like in our records units, we're 4 years behind in filing records. Everything about our organization is 3 to 4 years behind because we haven't had the civilian staff to make that happen. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, just in a nutshell, what some of the staffing issues are. The first one is we used to have an actual civilian manager in the police department that managed all the civilian operations. That person retired from the department and left. We didn't replace it. So there's been no one managing the civilian operations in the department. It's just fallen upon the sworn. And so that's a huge gap that we need to fill, and we're going to be discussing it in our budget when our budget stuff comes forward. We also need a couple more records clerks and dispatchers. We're way behind on records clerks, and our dispatchers are getting a ton of overtime simply because we need 2 more dispatchers to fully run our dispatch operations. And so in our budget documents, you'll see some of that coming forward on the civilian staff. On the supervisory staff, when the 312 program was created in the Calexico Police Department, they didn't create enough sergeants to cover the 5 shifts that exist on the Calexico Police Department. We have 4 supervisors in the field. If they take a day off, we have 3. If they take a vacation, we have 2. We literally do not have enough people when I'm at full strength to actually supervise the department. And anyone who runs a business knows if you lose your first line supervision, guess what comes next? Mischief. That's what comes next. So we need our first line supervisors back. So we'll be asking for 2 additional sergeants in our budget during the budget cycle. Police officer hiring, they talked a lot about the police officer hiring process. We've already talked about that in past studies, so you already know the pitfalls that we didn't do background investigations. We didn't do a lot of things when we hired. We're going to do that, and John Quinn is in charge of HR, and he's going to run that process, not the police department. That's the way it should be. There should be other eyes other than ours picking and paying attention to who we're selecting for police officers and civilian employees. Part of the role of the civilian manager, some of the critical issues we have is our evidence room is in complete disarray. We do not meet any known law enforcement standard for running the evidence operation in our department. So we're literally having to close down our current evidence operation and start over. So the number one job of that civilian manager that will be back is getting that back together. We've currently hired on an overtime basis from the county an evidence technician that's helping us put our evidence
system back together right now as we speak. And finally, the personnel complaint system. We didn't have a system, as far as I can tell, for probably 5-6 years. And the department was literally not taking personnel complaints, especially from the public. So we're cleaning that up. We're getting that system above board and honest, and we're investigating everything. For instance, in the last 2 years, we've only had 6 personnel complaints in the Calexico Police Department that went to formal personnel complaint. So that just doesn't pass the smell test. I get that many in a week right now, so that's normal to have that many, to have 4 or 5 complaints every couple weeks. By the nature of police work, people have complaints about how we do it, and by law, we have to investigate it. We can't just make it go away. So the reason I brought this report to you is not only the budget part of the staffing, but also DOJ is in town helping us for the next 3 years put our department back together. And this is going to be the baseline document that they hold me accountable to as the chief to get the departments back on its feet. And that means us too, as the council and the members of the community. So the Department of Justice will be in town again in July, sometime in the middle of July, for another town hall to talk to the community about community policing, and they'll start talking about what they're going to do to help us get back on our feet. And this report was, I've seen a lot of these in my career, and these guys really did a fantastic job for our department, and I appreciated the work they did. So in a nutshell, I'm giving you kind of the 5-minute version of a 100-page report. So.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Bostic? Thank you very much,
Okay,
Chief.
thank you.
Now we have Mr. Lamore from the county, is it the county health or? County Imperial, okay.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jeff Lamore. I'm the Deputy Director of the Public Health Department with the County of Imperial, more specifically with the Division of Environmental Health. We were contacted yesterday by the city to provide a little summary of what's going on with regards, or an overview with regards to mosquitoes that we have detected in the Calexico area. So let me step back a little bit, back to February. February of this year, and prior to that, we have been doing quite a bit of surveillance along the U.S. and Mexican border, more specifically within Imperial County, and then also working with our counterparts in San Diego County as well as in Arizona. In February, we identified a particular mosquito by the species name Aedes aegypti. So with that, we know that the mosquitoes were definitely, and we've known that they've been in the Mexicali area, in the Baja area, but we have actually detected them coming across the border into Imperial County. The good thing about that at that time is that we didn't, at that point in time, did not see any established breeding areas within the county or within the Calexico area. Just last month, towards the end of last month, we started to see a greater increase in the population of both male and female mosquitoes in the western portion of the Calexico area, which then is evident that there is some breeding going on. So one of the things that we wanted to do is to actually reach out to the community to let the community know that we do have this particular species of mosquito here, but how we can go about being proactive and how we can go out, try to attempt to manage it while it is here. If those of you that are familiar with Aedes aegypti is a vector-borne mosquito that carries some fairly dangerous diseases. In particular, they're very much known, and they're also called the yellow fever mosquito. They're known back in the early part of the days as yellow fever mosquito. They did transmit yellow fever. It's very uncommon here in the United States to see cases of yellow fever, but we'll see it in other countries throughout the world. But it's less common, it's very insignificant here with that particular mosquito. But what we are seeing, and we haven't detected any virus here as of yet, but Aedes aegypti also carries a virus by the name of dengue as well as chikungunya. For those of you that have been following the media, chikungunya is rampant in the Caribbean right now. So those are two particular diseases that are of concern. Chikungunya is a very debilitating disease. To my knowledge, they have not associated with fatalities associated with that, but it is a very debilitating disease. Dengue, on the other hand, there's 4 different stages of dengue. with the most extreme case being something hemorrhagic fever associated with that, which does cause death. So that's something that we're constantly monitoring, we're looking for. As I indicated, though, we do not have we have not detected the virus here in Imperial County. I was on a conference call last week. It was a binational conference call, and we were looking at activity of Aedes aegypti in particular up and down the state, but also in Mexico. And as reported last week, they've had over 5,000 reported cases of dengue in the greater part of Mexico, with 232 of those confirmed dengue in Sonora, Mexico, of which two cases were reported in Baja California. It didn't specify whether it be Calexico or Tijuana for that matter, but they just stated Baja. So we do know that we have it here. One of the big things is getting proactive and trying to get out in front of it. So what we have done is that we're actually, we had our public meeting last week. We didn't have a great turnout, but we did have a number of phone calls afterwards. And we had Councilmember Kim there as well. One of the things that we're wanting to do is get the information out to the public. I have brought some flyers or some handouts or fact sheets, as well as other information in the back that I've placed for any of the audience members that would like to pick up some information. What we plan on doing the latter part of this week is actually going door to door in those specific areas and actually knocking on doors, talking to the residents in those areas where we've really narrowed it down to where the actual breeding sites may be located. And the idea is to see what's causing, where are the sources, and how we can go about trying to manage those. Questions?
Go ahead, Mr. Real. I see you going for the question.
There's a variety of different types of diseases that mosquitoes carry. West Nile is something that we're currently dealing with here, also in Mexico, but also in Imperial County and throughout California. Fever is a big indicator. Body aches. With chikungunya, it's extreme body aches. We're talking about neuromuscular, joint pain. With dengue, same thing. The onset is very similar to flu-like symptoms. So if you've been exposed, if you're starting to feel similar symptoms, flu-like symptoms, and you've had mosquito bites, then that might be, you need to go to might be recommended. The bite is no different. That's correct. That's correct. Again, one of the most important things to know is we don't have the virus. We have not detected the virus here in Imperial County, or in California for that matter. And that's really important because the mosquito itself, in order for it to transmit, you have to have an infected, it's only from person to person, so you have to have an infected individual where a mosquito will come in. This particular species, the Aedes aegypti, they would feed off, a female would feed off that individual and then go to the next host and then basically transmit that disease to that individual. So if we have no virus here, they may bite you, but they're not spreading the disease. So before they become rampant in our area, our objective is to get a better handle on this. These particular mosquitoes are known as backyard mosquitoes. They like the populated areas. They will reproduce in a very small amount of water. They could actually go through their larval stages. There's 5 stages within a millimeter of water. So they don't need a huge water source to do this. Your containers under your flower plants are a great source. If you have water containers for your animals, and you're not cleaning them out on a regular basis, they become a great breeding source. Your gutters can become a great breeding source. But again, we have mosquitoes throughout the valley. That's not uncommon. Again, what our goal is here is to go in and work with, try to get ahead of it. My staff is going to be going door to door, and we'll continue to work with the residents, but we'll continue to monitor the entire area of Calexico. And we're also moving north. So we're setting up different types of traps. We're actually breeding out some of the eggs to verify that it is, in fact, Aedes aegypti, which we've already done. We're working close with our counterparts with the California Department of Public Health to speciate the particular mosquito, and we'll continue, and we provide updates to the state and to our government agencies and our elected bodies as well as to how this is moving forward. But I believe working together with our community, I think we can definitely manage it.
You have a question, Mr. Hurtado?
I can see that monitoring is a huge focus, but Once that that it's been identified that we do have that problem, will there be some type of eradication, some type of pest control activity?
Yeah, we currently do that now. So the key is monitoring is extremely important. That's surveillance is very important. Going in, one of the questions during our public meeting, our public forum last week was, why don't we go out and fog? Fogging at this point in time, again, we're seeing an increase in number, but they're small numbers in general. But fogging in a populated area is not as an effective method of going in at this point in time to treat for these. Again, when you're laying out, you're essentially with your equipment, you're going to be driving down a street. You're going to lay out a barrier fog, which then that fog typically needs to go over a home, which is also a barrier, through trees, and then actually lay down in the affected areas. And again, what you're trying to do there is you're actually trying to go after the adults. That's all you can do with fogging is to treat adults. Larviciding is another method, and we're actually going after the larvae before they actually hatch off into the adulthood. So even more importantly, if we're out looking in our backyards for standing water and trying to eliminate that, that too is going to it's going to get rid of the larval stages of that. Again, mosquitoes typically in optimal environment will go from an egg to an adult within 3 to 7 days. So they can, depending on if it has an optimum environment. So constantly just being vigilant about what's going on in your backyard is a good thing.
Would having insect repellent with DEET available be the best prevention?
That is definitely a tool. That's a great point. That's a definite tool to use. These particular species of mosquitoes, they're more active with a lot of our other mosquitoes, but they're more active dusk and dawn, morning and evening. But they are biters. They can be active all day long. They like to make their way into the house. So if they're in your house, they will bite all day long, as well as with artificial light. So, for example, if you're at a ball game with our artificial light, and if you have mosquitoes that are breeding in a particular area and they take flight, if they have light, they'll look for a source or for a host. But yes, using that, trying to be active, making sure you have mosquito repellent. Given our wonderful summers, it's hard to wear long sleeve shirts and long pants, but that's another recommendation. But nonetheless, if you do have using repellent, and if you're active early morning, if you're out walking, if you're busy doing things like that, or if you have going to sporting events in the evening, making sure that you're putting on mosquito repellent is a great safeguard.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Lamore? Seeing that there's none, we thank you, Mr. Lamore, for your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, and before we get to public comments and public appearances, we have moved up item 13, which I will call City Council reorganization, the appointment of mayor, chairman of the City of Calexico, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, successor agencies for the year 2015 and 2016. Yes. Well, unless you want to do public comments, because I've got items on number 13 right in front of me.
Number 13 right now is coming.
Right, I've got number 13 right here. Okay, so on item number 13, we have, do we have the timer?
Timer?
Did you find the timer? Nope. I didn't see it here. You don't have it? Okay.
Just figuring out this.
You want to do the phone? Okay. And I will reiterate remembering that everybody has 3 minutes. The public comment and public appearances disclaimer, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meetings with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session item or consent item, please comment now. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, which I've got already right here, we will take your comment when we get to the item of the agenda. Please always direct your questions and comments to the City Council. And for item number 13, I have Ben Horton. And after Ben Horton, I have Ms. Maribel Padilla. And then Mr. Javier Gonzalez after Ms. Padilla. Hello, hello. And when you start speaking, Mr. Real will start timing.
Distinguished members, Mr. Mayor of the City Council, and the audience. In reference to number 13, this is something that's important for the city of Calexico, and we hope that the City Council as a whole will look at what we want from our elected officials. We want sound government that we can be proud of, government that we can look to, a vision to what Calexico is and what Calexico stands for. I'm not saying that we have to go one direction or any direction, but within your conscience, and I use the word conscience, and we look at character and what we want to present to the public, to the people of Calexico, businesses, residents. We want sound government that have a vision. And I hope that as a whole, this body will look at that in the decision-making that they are about to undertake. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Ms. Padilla, and then Mr. Javier Gonzalez. Mr.
Maribel Padilla, Calexico. Submitted by the citizens of Calexico, California, whereas the council is responsible for the legislative function of the municipality, such as establishing policy, passing local ordinances, voting appropriations, and developing an overall vision, is run by the council manager form of government for municipalities. The elected governing body, commonly called the City Council, City Commission, Board of Aldermen, or Board of Selectmen. As whereas the Calexico City Council is responsible for the legislative function of the municipality, such as establishing policy, passing local ordinances, voting appropriations, and developing an overall vision. And whereas Calexico City Council members June Kim and Luis Castro have repeatedly demonstrated an inability to collaborate for the improvement and stable progress for the city of Calexico. And whereas the citizens of Calexico do not wish to have a mayor and mayor pro tem mayor who do not fulfill their elected obligations to be fully vetted on city business prior to city meetings. And whereas Calexico City Council meetings officiated by June Kim become a morass of confusion, tabling of time-sensitive projects. And whereas Council members Luis Castro exemplifies a similar pattern of governance. Whereas the citizens of Calexico wish to have a semblance of reasonable and informed governance, therefore be it resolved that the undersigned do solemnly declare by signature they do not want June Kim voted in as mayor and Luis Castro as mayor pro tem in the upcoming rotation selection by members of the Calexico City Council. And it be further resolved, the citizens of Calexico respectfully request the extension of the mayor's term to Honorable John Moreno and the pro tem mayor Maritza Hurtado be extended up to the certification of election results of 2016, or a new reorganization of the members listed Moreno Hurtado Real for the remaining time up to the certification of election results 2016. Signatures, citizens of Calexico. I have 70. There was more, but I couldn't get to them. I have 70 signatures. The citizens do not want either one of you to represent us in any capacity. Please vote no, as you always do. Don't let us down. This time, we want you to vote no. We can't have you going out there and representing Calexico. Mr. Kim, you vote no on everything, regardless. You're costing the city money. You don't go to the briefings. You run these meetings so long with mayor here to stop you. Can you imagine when you have full force of that gavel? Mr. Castro, you go out there and tell people to suck parts of your body and fight with people. Call the N-word. Really? This is what we want actually out there to represent us? I don't think so. None of these people want you out there. You're an embarrassment. We have told you before. Do not embarrass us by becoming mayor and mayor pro tem and going out there and representing us in Sacramento or anywhere else.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. After Mr. Gonzalez, we have Mr. Peroni.
Javier Gonzalez, 237 Hernandez Street. I've been here for 23 years. I was born into politics. I don't know if any of you have been here longer than me. And all I can know is the citizens of Calexico voted for these men. I'm not saying they're perfect. They voted for them. I'm tired of, I've said it 2 years ago, I'm tired of people coming, the citizens of Calexico, the citizens of Calexico voted for these people twice. The recall was nasty. It didn't pass. Let's respect the man. I'm not saying Mr. Kim is the perfect man. He needs to get to work with the city manager, with the chief, with everybody. I understand that. If he doesn't comply, then we can do something. But just a month ago, this same group was here saying that JPIA said that the city manager was, I respect this man. This man has a lot of experience. We're not against him. We're against this group that comes and says what they want you to hear. Just a month ago, they were here saying that JPIA mandated one thing. No, JPIA said that the next in line was Mr. Kim. Now they're saying no. That's not good. We need to get together. We need to start working together. We need to respect this man. If he doesn't do a good job, it doesn't represent us like we want, they can vote him out. But let's give him a chance. Since 23 years I've been here, every time they jump a mayor or skip a mayor, problems come. They always come back. So the citizens of Calexico voted for these people, all 5 of them. Twice, most of them, except Mr. Real. Twice, there was a recall, very nasty recall. They went to your house, it didn't pass. So what is the citizens of Calexico saying? They voted for them. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Peroni, and then after Mr. Peroni, Mr. Flavio Grijalva.
Honorable City Council, Honorable Mayor.
You can raise the mic.
Yes, we'll do this. Okay, I'm a little concerned, and I accompanied Mandy and Kim to JPIA, and their suggestion was Kim to be the next mayor. I was there, I was present, and I agree with their recommendation. I'll tell you why. If we see the history in the last 3-4 years, what we've seen here, it's been a lot of infighting. And if we do the wrong thing and skipping them, it'll continue. When I was newly elected, I was pulled in by Tony Tirado. I think Eddie Guzman was there, Memo Nieblas, David Uzan, and they asked me, because I was a pivotal vote, they asked me, let's skip John Rennes, and John was to be the next mayor. And I said, no, let's follow protocol, let's do the right thing. I was a newly elected councilman. I wanted to go in there working with my colleagues, and I voted in favor of John. Tony Tirado and the other people didn't like it. I did the right thing. And Mr. Kim, Mr. Castro, Mandy, Maritza, and you're all good leaders, and you have factions in town, and you represent different people, but in the whole, you represent all of us. So let's vote the right thing and continue with peace. Since Mr. Warren got his contract, I see a different council. I see a different environment. Let's keep it that way. I think we're going in the right place, so do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peroni. Are you going to, yeah, well, did you write a letter? Okay. You have 3 minutes. She's got some.
Good afternoon. I am not here speaking on my behalf. I'm speaking on behalf of Flavio Grijalva, a gentleman that spoke at the last council meeting. and his email is directed to Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim, during the city council in which Mr. Warren was appointed to city manager, you took some time to address the attending residents about some concerns you had regarding Mr. Warren. During these remarks, I realized you were insulting me as a resident and the residents in attendance because you stated you had no faith in Mr. Warren and the people whose concerns, the constituents' concerns. Up until that point, I thought I was one of your constituents as I am a resident of the city. Or is it that your loyalty only lies with those that support you on a secret basis? You see, Mr. Kim, as a city council member, one of the things you must understand and realize is that regardless of who voted for you, democracy must run like it was meant to, and it placed you in the seat due to majority vote. Yet you fail to see that as a resident, you have a responsibility to every single resident of the city. We, the residents of the city of Calexico, are all of the other council's members' constituents. Your loyalty should lie with every single resident, not only the ones who gave you money to fund your campaign, not just to those that you consider friends. I am a resident and I expect the same representation as other residents of the city, along with every council member here. Since it cuts off, I realize you may not be on this council to make this city better, but to further your political career. As the incoming city mayor, you now have a great responsibility to every single resident of this city. Your job is now to make this city better. Your job is to represent us and increase business to the city. Your job is now to fix whatever is broken. Do you have what it takes to accept this responsibility? Do you have the moral capacity to accept something when something doesn't work on your watch? You will accept the responsibility? Do you know enough to understand that when something that has a direct conflict of interest, you should abstain from any comments or votes on the matter? This is your year to make things right. This is your year to improve the city. This is your time to show residents of the city, the staff, your fellow council members that you were chosen to make a positive difference. And I, along with every single resident, will hold you to these responsibilities. If you are not able to accept this responsibility, then by all means, find someone else to take over the reins and help guide you for the future. But be sure to understand that you are not on this seat for those who will help fund your future campaigns. You are here for me. You are here for them, the residents, your police department, the fire department, and the city employees that help run this city. If you cannot support any of these people, then maybe you shouldn't be mayor. Sincerely, Flavio Grijalva.
Thank you very much. Mr. Santillan, you submitted a request to speak. Is this on this item? Okay, you may come up.
Danny Santillan, 826 Beach. I did not support, did I vote for Mr. Castro nor for Mr. Kim, but neither did I sign the petition for recall. So this body right now has an excellent opportunity to show the community that you are willing to move on in unity. Let bygones be bygones, and get together, work together. That's my 5 cents worth. Thank you.
You usually say more at McDonald's in the morning. Thank you, Mr. Santillan. All right, so now we'll go to item number 13, which is the appointment of mayor, chairman of the City of Calexico Redevelopment Agency successor agency for the year 2015-2016. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Yes, sir?
I make a motion to appoint Mr. Kim for the new mayor of
There's-
Calexico.
There's a motion to appoint Kim by Mr. Castro. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Real. Does the voting board work?
No.
And this is to vote for Mr. Kim as mayor. Please vote. Motion carries 3-2. Congratulations, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
So now I will turn the gavel over to Mr. Kim. Is that correct?
Yes.
And move a seat
Yes.
over? Or we just give him the gavel? Do you want to sit here in the middle?
We have elected Mayor Pro Tem too.
I know, Mr.
Okay, go ahead.
You're the mayor now, so
You're the mayor.
That's on 14.
Council comments? No?
That's all there is on that one. You have
After
a,
we elected Mayor Pro Tem, then
you have this one? And this one, these two.
okay, we have a more person came. Maribel Padilla was number 14. But right next to number 13, no?
Oh, we just finished number 13. We're on number 14. It's the appointment of Mayor Pro Tem, sir.
Okay.
Yes, continue.
Number 14, then I have a two person wants to speak.
Kim.
Yes. No, they want to talk about the
okay.
14.
you should call the item number 14 and then
Yes.
public comment on that item.
We're gonna have a city council reorganization, appointment of the mayor pro tem / vice chairman of the city of Calexico, Calexico Community Development Agency successor agencies for the year 2015-2016. So we would like to have two persons speak. Ms. Padilla Maribel was the number 14.
She already
First of all, Lord help Calexico. Really, Lord help Calexico. And obviously, I'm totally against Mr. Castro being pro term. Anybody that carries him, the way he carries, the way he fights with businessmen, the way he calls the N-word to other people out here in the audience in the city, should not be the second. Should not. But I guess you're going to get in, so we're going to be able to watch. Mr. Kim, you wanted to be mayor. You actually voted against yourself for pro term. I don't know what happened. Now, if you wanted to be mayor and you knew this was coming, both of you knew this was coming, why are you not prepared? Why does the attorney have to tell you what to do? Why does Moreno have to tell you what to do? You have no idea what you're
Well,
doing. It's not a
Vanessa, we
debate. Shut up. It's not a debate.
Now it's
No,
number 14.
you don't debate. When it's my 3
Excuse
minutes,
me.
it's my 3 minutes.
This is disturbing the meeting.
It's my 3 minutes.
Okay, if you keep going, I want you to ask out.
No,
Please.
it's my 3 minutes. Like it or not, 3 minutes.
Mayor, you should call the meeting to order.
3 minutes. No.
She has
No,
to get
wait.
out.
He told me to
Out of the, yeah. That's out of order.
Okay. Okay. You told me to keep going. I have 3 minutes. You better learn that. That's part of your job. You better learn that when people come up here to speak, whether you like it or not, whether it's against you or anybody else, you need to let them talk. When Maritza was tore by the CPOA, tore up, they called her all sorts of names. Not one of you stopped it. Not any of anybody stopped it. So you need to learn.
Keep the agenda, number 14.
Yes, I'm talking about
Number
14.
14 is the mayor pro tem.
And I'm telling you,
Appointments.
I'm against it. What you need to learn is that you need to be quiet when the people come here and talk. Because it's our 3 minutes. By law, you cannot take away my 3 minutes, whether you like what I'm saying or not. Is that true, Mr. Attorney? I have a lawful 3 minutes to talk?
Yes, if you stay within the agenda and you stay within the
And I'm
bounds of
talking-
decorum, then yes, you have your 3 minutes.
And I'm talking about item number 14, that I am not for it. I'm against it. You don't get to talk. It's me. It's my 3 minutes. Whether these people like it or not, they don't tell you what to do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm against this. And again, Lord help Calexico.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. I'd like to put every public comment put in the agenda, stick with the agenda items. As a chair, I have a right to conduct the meeting. I suppose to notify the public to stick with the agenda. Mr. Holton, Van Holton, can you check the 3 minutes, please?
To start off with, when we approved the agenda before we started the meeting, did we agree to only number 13? Did we move forward? Yes or no?
Well, I think this is a question for the city clerk, but I believe it was both items 13 and 14. He's asking whether or not the agenda, the motion to change the agenda was to move both items 13 and 14 up.
13, 14, okay. In reference to number 14, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're at a point now where calmness has to take over. And in reference to how government works, this is a general law city. And I hope that I'm not in favor of everything that's taking place, but I hope that with this body here, I mean the citizens, will have a certain amount of calmness and decorum. The government works, and it's called a democracy. And if we all can adhere to it, I guess up on the diocese and in the public, we can have a better understanding how it works. We should give people a chance to prove what their fiber is. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that's going on, but yet we are from Calexico. I think we couldn't be prouder. And we should work at showing the public and the world what we're made out of. Now, we can say we don't like this, we don't like that, but let our government work, give the people a chance to prove themselves. And if they don't, democracy works also to remove them. So that's what I have to say, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holton. Ms. Aguilar, Norma Aguilar.
Norma Aguilar, 839 Heber Avenue. Hopefully, the 3 minutes will be enough. I'm here to speak on a topic that is disturbing to me, and it should be disturbing for the citizens of Calexico. I serve on the Citizens Advisory Committee for Measure H, in which the advisory committee oversees the expenditures of Measure H tax monies. Measure H tax monies was a bond, I guess not bond, correct me. It was a city tax that was passed in 2010. And while the language of the ballot stipulated that it was to preserve funding for police protection, fire protection, recreation programs for youth and seniors. Sorry?
This is not in the agenda, number 14, we are Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. I thought since you called me, I thought you had moved on to public comments. Forgive me. I'll go wait till public comment.
You were putting the number 14, the public comments. That's
No,
why.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I put right there. So you read it. It says Measure H.
Measure H, she is correct. Public comments. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
We'll put you up here. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Okay, number 14, Hilda Bowen, Miss Bowen. The right there's a microphone there.
My name is Hilda Bowen, and I have come here to talk about the mayor for Calexico. And I was reading they're getting a thing against Mr. Kim, Luis Castro, and Mandy. They just want the mayors to be John Moreno and Marisa Hurtado. And according to everybody, voted for them to put them in here, so they all have the equal opportunity to be mayors, not just one or two. Everybody. That's what the people of Calexico want. To be fair, because the people are complaining because they put them there and they're always fighting. And every time we come to this meeting, there's nothing but fights. Nothing for the city, nothing that's important. People complaining about this and that, and they all pay attention to them. But this is supposed to be a city council, not a fight for something that is not important to the city. They should work for the city like they promised to do, and don't listen to people that are complaining. If they want to do something, let them do it outside. But we stay here hours and hours, and nothing has been done. The city needs a lot of work. And all the times we come here, people don't want to come anymore because they say, what for? They're all fighting. All the time we come, there's always a fight or a complaint from somebody. I don't have nothing against any of the city councils, but I think that they should obey the laws, and everybody has to have a year to be mayor. Manny, Luis, Mr. Kim, and Marisa and John had it more, okay? So I think that they should work for the city, not for the people that are complaining, whatever they are. The city needs them to work together, all of them, one behind the other, not against each other, so that city can go up. And the people are complaining and say, well, why should we go vote? They do anything they want anyway. They don't respect the people's vote. The people put them there for the reason that they think that they can do the job, not to see who can do it better or who can do it worse, but to work for the city. That's what all the seniors want. Work for the city to go up. You even have people from El Centro coming to inspect the meetings because they've been hearing that this is not but a fighting ring. So I am talking for all the senior citizens, and if you want signatures, I can bring them to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowen. Now there's no more public comments, so now we have appointments of the Mayor Pro Tem / Vice Chairman of the City of Calexico / Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency successor agency for the year 2015-2016. Any motion to Mayor Pro Tem? I make the motion to Mr. Castro to be a Mayor Pro Tem.
I second.
So now we vote. Okay. The 4 and 1 absent. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Castro.
Thanks.
Now I think we're reorganizing the seat.
Yeah, mine's pretty warm, so don't burn yourself in here, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure and honor to present to Mr. Jung S. Kim, Mayor Pro Tem, for service for the City of Calexico from July 2014 to July 2015, today, July 7th, 2015, and I wish him well in his seat as mayor and that he lead Calexico in the right direction and move things forward. Congratulations, Mr. Kim.
Thank you. Now I have a nicer than mine.
You'll get one next year.
Present to the John Moreno, Mayor, for your service as Mayor of the City of Calexico, July 2014, July 2015. City Council of the City of Calexico, July 7, 2015. I'd like to present to Mr. Moreno. I've been enjoying it with Mr. Moreno as work together. I looking for work together, especially I need his lots of support.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. And I just want to say a few words as I go into the seat of council member. This was my second term as mayor, and as well as my second term as your council member. I want to congratulate Mr. Luis Castro in his seat for the second time as Mayor Pro Tem, and then I hope that he does an outstanding job, that he listens to the community, that he collaborates with the council, that he collaborates with our staff to get things done. This has been a very difficult year for our city of Calexico. Many people have become involved in the city governance because they have a say-so. They want the city to prosper. They don't want us to get in the way of progress. The Joint Powers Insurance Authority of the state of California assisted us in trying to correct our governance, trying to let us know the roles and responsibilities that we as council members have, and more importantly, on how to serve you as the public out there. We are going through team building. There's a lot of fences to mend. There's a lot of bridges to build. However, I think because of last year's experiences with our council and the turmoil that we were in, I hope that we don't continue on the same path and that we learn from the mistakes that have been made. Sure, I disagree with Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro and maybe other council members as well, but I want to work with them. I want to put the best foot forward, and I want to put the best foot forward for the community, because I think, you know what, enough is enough. You guys are tired of all the bickering and the fighting. So I am willing to step back and try to assist and support and collaborate and make this city one of the best cities in the county and in the state of California. Thank you very much.
So it looks like now it's coming from outgoing Mayor Pro Tem, and I'm coming into the incoming mayor, so I'm going to put together to speak about that. I'm the person who doesn't know how to nicely using the word to make it nicer. I'm the person who keep on doing for achieving what I want to do. And sometimes I have to bring the issues to the council, then sometimes we had some issues. And we learned from the last couple of years. I wish we're going to be well in this time. And first of all, thanks to God, made happening tonight. I'm being in mayor. I'm representing the city of Calexico. Especially in my case, I'm the foreigner, different races. And I've been accepted community as a part of them. I'm very grateful for this. And all my passion is going to citizens' benefits. Well, I am thanks to all my supporters who made it for tonight, and I'm grateful to work as a mayor, consented by council members, and sometimes we don't agree, but we will try to work together. We will honor to disagree. And especially thanks to Mr. Real to trust me to be in the leadership. I looking into Mr. Real to work together so we can change our city to more to citizens' benefit. I'm asking the council members try to not to attacking each other, stick with the issues so we can achieve the goal for the community's benefit. And I have one of my goal and project, I have to focusing to have a swimming pool for our children and family. I'll do all my power to help the pool build it by next summer, if possible. And then I believe if cities help, they might can be able to have a pool next summer. And I like to put for the same reason, I like to put the next meeting agenda we can discuss a pool to all inform among ourselves and then inform the community what is going on in the pool. And then I believe that we have to return to our council meeting in normal way. And Mr. Bowen was mentioning a lot of issues in our meeting. And our meeting is not built by one council member or two council members. 5 council members will have to work together to more professionalism, to lay down their angers or attacking each other. Please stick with the issues. And also, I'm asking the public to help or cooperate to do our meeting in normal way. 100% we accept different opinion or opponents, but let's do by manners. We are here as humans. We're talking, we have a dialogue, we have a communicating method. Please be in the professionalism. I believe our council members, our city council members, has been lost a lot of respect from the public. As a mayor, I'd like to try to put all my effort to try to regaining respect from the public in doing our job, focusing public's benefit. I like to set up the schedule once a day, once every week to certain hours, certain day, so public can come to see the mayor, discuss issues, so that we can carry on to the public's interest. And I believe there is something missing in the public's listening to the public's. If I finish my speech, I believe I'm thankful for my mother. She was a single mother, raised 4 kids. Especially that time in Korea, the married woman doesn't have a job. No government help. They have to be on their own. We had a struggle time. Sometimes we didn't have food at home. But she managed it. She, with all the poverties, when we need to go to school, school in Korea, school has to pay from junior high to all the tuitions, not like United States. She had the money, whatever takes it. Now she's old, she's sick. She asked me to help. But I'm staying here too with our community to succeed in my position as a public servant. I believe she is proud to be having has me as her son. Especially my wife. She's supporting all me. Even she got sick, tired, even she's still in the store. If she doesn't support me, I wouldn't be able to be here. Thanks to my wife. And I never had a chance to tell my wife. Even before I married, I never told my wife one word. I will do these times. I love you. My personality always taking action before the world. But I have to say, she's not here, but I love you. Thank you, the community members. I love you guys. Now it's timing for the incoming Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, I already congratulate Mr. Kim for being a mayor for the city of Calexico, and I believe he's got the decision and also the time, like he mentioned, he's making time to make things happen, to make good things happen in Calexico. And definitely, like Mr. John Moreno, he said, I'm going to step back and we need to work as a team. And definitely that's something that we need to understand. Even if sometimes we are not agree, we need to understand at the same time disagree with each council members. Like Mrs. Boomer mentioned, she's represent a group of seniors. They want us to work together to make good things and benefit the city of Calexico. This is part of this community. We, each of us represent 40,000 population here in Calexico. With all due respect, all the people who are in the chamber, I represent you and also, again, the 40,000 people population. Again, Mr. John Moreno, I appreciate your time and effort that you did as a mayor, and thank you for your decisions that you make together. Same time we didn't agree with you, but I'm still here to work together.
Thank you, Mr. Castro.
Thank you.
I
Now-
would like to make a comment, if that's possible.
Please
Okay.
follow the agenda, sir.
Would the outgoing Mayor Pro Tem like to speak as well?
The who?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought.
He took both. It's very emotional, by the way. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
It was.
Well, first of all, I want to thank ex-Mayor Moreno. I think he did an excellent job as mayor in the about 7 months that we got to work together. I want to speak regarding what is protocol. I was elected, and I was kind of thrown in the middle of 4 people on the council, and yes, the council does have its division. Some people like to call my position the swing vote, but in reality, what I believe is there's a lot of pain up here. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of hurt. Mayor Castro was taken out of his mayorship before time, and I'm really. Mr. Kim, you need to conduct these meetings with professionalism, not just towards the council members, but towards staff and the city. And I will hold you accountable for those actions. I think that the people themselves would like that. And just the way the position was given by 3 council members, at the same time, if the mayorship does not conduct the business the way it should, then something must be done at that time. I really hope that you follow the mayorship the way it should be. I want to congratulate you on your mayorship, and also Mayor Pro Tem Castro.
Thank you.
And I want to tell all City Council that we have to get over this. We have to move on. We cannot continue this infighting, and hopefully Calexico can leave all this in the past. So thank you very much.
Has there any chance, Ms. Hurtado? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I was just saying that maybe we could do since everybody's commenting, this could be council comments, just for the sake of time.
Okay.
If you think that's appropriate. Oh, well, okay, well, all right, well. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Okay, then we're gonna go back to
We're back to agenda item.
public comments.
Public comments, we're still on public comments.
General public comments?
Yeah, right there.
The person wants to wish to talk, David Cañez? David Cañez? Yeah, so we have it here.
It's there. Yeah,
David Cañez, please.
put the time.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
The second and fourth Tuesday of the month at the Holiday Inn Express, and we meet promptly at 6:05 p.m., and we're done at 7 o'clock. The club is a timed meeting and teach you how to keep to your time. So you're all welcome, and again, join us next week on the 14th for our induction of new officers. You're all cordially invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cañas. The next person, Mr. Aguilar, Norma Aguilar. Ms.
Norma Aguilar, 839 Heber Avenue. I hope you will indulge my, hopefully I don't run over the 3 minutes, Mr. Kim, but if I do, I hope that you will indulge me and allow me to complete. This is a flyer that was used during 2010 for the passing of Measure H. It establishes that the tax was to preserve funding for city services. It's a half-cent general tax to provide funding for police protection, fire protection, recreational programs for youth and seniors. It talked of the establishment of a citizen oversight committee, of which I was one of the first formed. The oversight committee was responsible and is responsible for the purpose of recommending and reporting on how tax funds should be spent. And I will further show you that, point out that the Measure H, at that time when the committee came together, it was formed. We all understood that while it was promoted as a special tax, it truly is not a special tax, as many citizens are under the misapprehension that it is specifically only for police, for fire, for recreation. The first committee, the first one of the committee chose to follow the spirit of the way it was presented to the community for that same reason. Because in all fairness, that's why I think the citizens voted for it. But in actuality, it is a tax that if the council chooses to, they can choose to vote, they can choose to accept the recommendation, they can choose to modify the recommendation or ignore the recommendation. But the constant has always been, always was, that it came first to Measure H. On your agenda tonight is expenditures that are expenditures of Measure H, which never came to Measure H, to my knowledge. Also, although I will let you know that I've been on Measure H for only about 2 or 3 months, of which we've only been able to hold one full meeting, because you have people not showing up to meetings, which is a concern. The other concern is this, is that you've got expenditures not just on lighting for parks. You've got expenditures that are, to my understanding, expenditures in the offices, furniture, programs, all of it, which it appears on paper as if Measure H has approved this. This has not been. It was presented to Measure H at the last meeting where we held. It was presented as an informational item. We did not vote on it, where we were informed by Mr. Quinn that it had already been approved by the council. When questioned further, I had Mr. Nick Servin that noted that it had been placed on the agenda of the council back in last August, that it had been voted on. I said, and then so the way it was on the Measure H agenda, it stipulated, broken down point by point. Will you allow me to finish? I will wrap up.
30 seconds, can you wrap
I
up,
will
please?
wrap up. My point being is this. I asked if it was broken down and on the agenda for the August agenda where you all approved the agenda. I was told yes. If so, then either one of two things happened. Either this council knowingly circumvented Measure H oversight and approved it, or voted on it and did not do their homework. You tell me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. Ms. Aguilar, I'm sorry.
To make a comment to Ms. Aguilar?
You want to do?
No, we should not public comment.
I think you have time for the agenda. Next. Okay, next person is public comment. Ms. Girales Goyo.
He's right there.
Goyo.
Okay. I'd like to give the Mr. Goyo a little more time than 3 minutes because he's not really has custom to talk. He might need a little more time to address. Please.
Ya. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Gregorio Irales, soy residente del Hotel de Anza y venía a pedir ayuda de todos ustedes porque tenemos ya 1 mes y medio que no tenemos elevador y somos pura gente de tercera edad. Hay gente mucho más mayor que yo y no pueden bajar ni a ver al médico. Y hay gente que le hacen diálisis y no pueden subir ni bajar. Yo vivo en el 3er piso como otros tantos compañeros y pido la ayuda de todos ustedes que nos puedan ayudar a salir de este problema que anteriormente también duraba hasta 2 meses el elevador y los dueños de la compañía no hacen nada por ayudarnos. Y les pido por favor que nos ayuden porque es necesario. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. I believe. Mr. Won, can we do something on the city level to discuss with them?
If I may? Yeah. We said code enforcement there last week, and we were informed that by the manager that they were going to have the elevator fixed within 2 or 3 days. We're beyond that already, so we're going to set a code enforcer over there to get them to move and ticket them.
Please, after done.
Oh, yes, yes,
please,
we're very concerned, but we just found out about this last night. And at the time that we sent out the code enforcer, we had just found out.
I believe they have to have some kind of assistance, at least something for during those times.
We're pushing them.
Yeah, so after you're done, would you let
harder.
us know, all
Yes.
the council member?
Yes.
I think
Thank
it's also definitely a fire. I mean, if there's a fire
Mr.
there,
Servin?
we're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Mr. Servin, the city clerk is informing me that she received a phone call from the, I guess, people in charge at the Deanne's, and they're indicating they're starting the repairs tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, so
But
let us,
we'll follow up anyway.
yeah, please let us, all the 5 council members to know
Will do.
about the situation since they were all repaired.
One other comment on the De Anza. I just want to say, it was brought to our attention about the elevator issue, and the management of De Anza was called, and they haven't been particularly responsive. So I had the city attorney send the management of De Anza a letter quoting the sections where they have the responsibility for the elevator and the maintenance of the facility. And it was a very terse letter, which we can provide the city council a copy of. So we are following through on that. In addition to that, we also reminded them of their obligation because the air conditioning system is leaking into the Cultural Arts Center. We reminded them of their obligation to fix that. So we've also, other staff members have called the management of the De Anza. So we're following through on that particular issue because we certainly don't want our seniors to be living in a place where these kinds of things are not functioning.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Won. And I believe they had several times already on same issues.
They have, and I have talked personally to Chris Westlake about issues relating to the maintenance there. And so they're well aware, and I can assure you with our new attorney that we will take whatever action that needs to be taken to ensure that they comply with agreements that they made when they were given city money, or not city money, but federal and state money.
Yeah, okay, I think next person to talk about the Skinner, Sean?
Good evening, council members. Thank you. My name is Sean Skinner. I'm actually with Con-Am Management representing De Anza Hotel. And I want to first say that we're very sorry for the outages of the elevator. As with older affordable housing properties, things break. And there was not an elevator company in Imperial Valley that was able to actually fix the valve that went broken. So we had to actually go out of San Diego. The elevator will be fixed tomorrow, and so they'll have that. We have extended staff times to help folks with groceries, residents that have notified us that it needed special needs. We made sure that we had an open line of communication with them. And on behalf of the management and the owners, we take the concerns and the quality of the life of our residents very seriously, especially with our seniors and our older adults. And I don't believe that we were informed. I didn't know anything about the air conditioning, but I tell you now that we take those kinds of concerns very seriously, and we will actively work to get everything fixed and in working order for our residents. If there's any questions or concerns that the council has, I would be happy to either get answers for you and get back to you. We want to make sure that we have an open line of communication with the council as well.
I'm sorry, Mayor. Can I ask some questions?
Yes, please.
Mr. Goyo, what's his name?
Skinner.
Mr. Goyo is no.
Mr. Goyo.
Oh.
Mr. Goyo, he mentioned that it's been a month with that problem. How come this problem it's been a month? I don't understand that. We're talking about seniors. We're talking about people that they can handle to walk sometimes. I mean, why you are waiting so much? A month? Why? That's my question.
Yes, Councilmember. From what I've been told, it hasn't been a month. It's been 3 weeks, and I understand. But
The tenant mentioned
I have our senior regional maintenance director here, and he informs me that it's been 3 weeks since the elevator's been out. And I understand we do not wait. This was something that we put in the works as soon as it happened. It's a very old elevator.
We understand
We had to
that.
order the parts, and we had to use a San Diego-based elevator company to come out to the Imperial Valley. So it took time, and the elevator will be fixed tomorrow.
Okay. Isn't that the cost more cheaper since they several times broke down? Is that cheaper to put the new ones there?
I wouldn't be able to answer that, but I can take your question, and I will take it to my company, and I'll get back to you on that.
Thank you.
What is the name of the company? Chelsea owns the property, correct?
Chelsea owns the property,
And
correct?
the management company name?
Con-Am Management.
Con-A?
Con-Am,
Con-Am.
correct.
Okay, I've been addressed the issue several times, and I believe several senior apartments owned by the Chelsea. And I was keep asking to the seniors, they need water, drinking water system. They don't let them have a own filter, but at least they can have a water machine and upstairs and nearby, so they can get the water. Even they pay the coins, they still need some drinking water.
Understood. We can definitely take that.
They're having trouble to carrying the water to the drinking water to home. So I like to have all the facility to have the water machines, drinking water machines for them.
You know what, Sean, correct?
Yes, Sean Skinner.
Skinner, Mr. Skinner. There is a lot of concern regarding a lot of Chelsea properties. I haven't been on council long, but I can tell you that I've been on enough to get a lot of complaints. So the water issue is one. One of them is the flooring on the second floor is slanted on Alex Rivera. I believe those are also Chelsea investment. Is that another company?
I'm not sure.
We're going out of topic.
Yeah, I just want to say for the record, this is sort of turning into a full-flown agenda item, and it's really just meant for public comment. He says his piece and then moves on.
Okay.
I would like to say this, though. I want to extend an invitation for the council to be able to reach out to me, and be able to have an open line of communication for these kind of things.
Can you leave us your business
Contact
card?
information.
I'll leave my card.
And,
Thank you.
By the way, I like to visit the senior complexes with you if you have time tomorrow.
Definitely.
So maybe Mr. Leal want to go with me?
That's fine.
I would be happy
during
to.
the daytime? Can we get the phone number? I can call you tomorrow morning to get
Definitely.
together with Mr. Leal together to visit all the senior
I would
complex.
have to.
Good. Thank you. Next person, the Julia Escobar.
Sí, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Julia Escobar y vivo en el 737 Encanto Drive. Lo que yo vengo a hablar es del Hotel de Anza. Yo el año pasado lo viví ahí. Yo trabajaba con una señora y por más de un mes el elevador no sirvió. La gente batalló bien mucho, los del segundo piso y del tercer piso. Nosotros los teníamos que llevar agua, comida, porque las personas no podían bajar. Yo no los invito a que vayan a hablar con el señor. Los invito a que vayan a ver las personas, que vayan a ver cómo están esas personas allá arriba. Vayan para que ustedes miren y se cercioren de lo que está pasando. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Julia. Next person, Mr. Holton, Benjamin Holton. And next person is Maribel Padilla.
Good evening again. This is a short report by the Economic Commission to give you an idea what's been taking place in your city and what we've been doing to maybe to improve life a little bit on and off here. For one, it's about ready to debut our newsletter for the Economic Commission. It should be coming out shortly. Another item is for you to save the date, January the 29th. That's when we're going to have our gala event for the Statue Awards by the Economic Commission. It's going to happen in January. We had a binational meeting about 2 weeks ago. One of the things we discussed was a new expansion of the port. It's going to be having a groundbreaking sometime in November. And one of the other things we talked about is the New River, the bike trails, and activities such as that. One of the things that we have started with the Economic Commission is the Border Economic Commission, which is going to be involving Mexicali, Calexico, and the region. This is to help to promote industry to come into the city. And I got to say one thing, the one that's been really spearheading that is Julia from the economic side of the house, our economic manager. She's been really working hard to improve the activities. Now, this past week, we had our 4th of July celebration, and I'm happy to say that overall the city did well, but especially the Grand Plaza. They broke all kinds of records for a 4th of July event. If you went to it, you saw the fireworks, you saw activities, and it shows the point that you can do business on a 4th of July weekend. Also, we had not quite at the same scale, but in a different perspective, we had the Smart Buy, which through a 4th of July event. We had the former mayor, John Moreno, there. He made a speech. We had the city manager, and it was something a little different. We had a business trying to promote the 4th of July. We had activities from kids, and I dare say it went quite nicely. Today, before the city council started, there are some citizens that have business here in Calexico. Had some concerns about the signage and how things are going. Now, in reference to the economic side of the house, we are concerned. I did talk to a couple of them. I will be talking to them tomorrow. Now, if you look at a little bit of history, once upon a time, we had a problem with signs. And they went through a lot to put this ordinance together.
Mr. Holton, you got 30 seconds to wrap up, please.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. I don't want to see how some people can play something to what it's not. In reference to the economic side of the house, we will be looking into it and moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holton. Next person want to talk about Ms. Padilla?
Before I speak on my topic, I have one question for both Mr. Castro and Mr. Kim. When are you going to meet with the chief of police now that you're mayor? And will you be attending briefings from now on? Can you two answer that? Oh, now you're quiet. Yeah. Are you? Are you going to attend briefings?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to attend briefings?
Is this a courthouse or what? This is not a courthouse, Mrs. Maria.
There you have it. Okay, Saturday, June 27th, Mayor Moreno, Councilman Hurtado, Councilman Real, showed up to clean downtown, along with a class of 82, some homeless people, and some students from the high school. We missed you, Mr. Castro. We missed you, Mr. Kim. Hey, that's right. The other three can show up. The other two could have too. Now, it also came out in the newspaper. Something nice going on in Calexico. You don't see this in El Centro. You don't see this in Brawley. You see it in Calexico. Some of the residents coming up to help clean up downtown. Okay? Now, on this downtown issue, we cleaned the streets. We didn't go into the alleys because the alleys are the responsibility of the business owners. There is an ordinance, okay? The ordinance reads that failure to maintain said sidewalks and in the storefronts, there's a violation for that every day. Mr. Warren, you need to quit having the city go out there and clean these alleys. I know you do it because you want to keep everybody happy, but it's not the city's responsibility, it's the owners. You need to send your code enforcement out there and find all the businesses that have downtown looking like crap. Another thing, and there's an ordinance, so it's not like you're making it up. You need to go out there and find them. They'll keep it clean if you find them, and put your resources out to go do other things that need to be done. With that said, I know there's several people that are on suspension, paid vacation, I don't know, whatever it is you guys call it, administrative leave. 3 guys from the water department, somebody from housing. Why can't we get these people reassigned to the parks? Those 3 guys from the water department, instead of sitting at home, taking in a check for watching TV, would be best used in these parks, out in the streets, cleaning up, doing things. I would hope that you can actually think about that and use the resources that we have. The female that's on admin leave, put her to be code enforcement, send her out there, give her I don't know, something, some kind of shirt or something, get her out there to go start finding the businesses so we can keep downtown clean. I'm going to invite the whole entire council again, July 11th, this Saturday. If you're not too busy fixing buses or anything like that, running your stores, can you please join us and help us clean downtown? Not that you're the mayors. The others did. It wasn't beneath them. So let's hope if all of you show up on Saturday. Thank you, Mandy, you were gone, but thank you for helping us out and donating water, and Ms. Hurtado donating the tools. Everybody helping, well, not everybody, but some of you guys helping. We'll be there at 11. Anybody else would like to join us? Anybody that complains that the city's dirty, you're all welcome. I have plenty of water. Come and help us. We'll be at the...
You got
We'll
30
be at
minutes,
the,
30 seconds to wrap up.
We will be at the orthopedic clinic on Saturday at 7:30 in the morning for 3 hours. Come along, come help us.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. Next person, Maria Avila. Next person, Maria Avila.
Maria Avila.
Okay. So, Mr. Romo is not Maria Avila. Thank you for, I think it's, she left. And the next person is Jason Zhang.
Can we give him 1 minute? You only get 1 minute, bro.
Okay, I think so. We have a microphone issues. So every public member to want issue to talk, please go to the right-hand side of the microphone, please.
Can I start?
Yes, go ahead, start.
All right. I was just approached by the police chief saying that I need to calm down. Chief, I've never been escorted, and to go on the record, I've never been escorted out of City Hall. I have no idea what your officers have told you. There was an incident last time here at City Hall. I came over to try to resolve the issue with my water still that was supposedly fixed. I made some comments and I fought for my rights because you know what? I was still being billed unfairly by the water department. I'm talking to somebody across a bulletproof glass window that may or may not be able to hear me. But that person, I was in City Hall for another 10 minutes. That city employee calls the police department and says that I was making a scandal and a fuzz, and there's other people out there that will tell you I was being very civil. And then the police officers come to my office and tell me, what did you do? I said, I went and fought for my rights. And I told the officer, you're not going to violate my First Amendment right, my freedom of speech. I have every single right to come in here and complain about anything I want. And Chief, you have no right to tell me to be quiet, to calm down, or keep it civil. Because I think every time I've been up here, I've been civil. I filed a complaint against certain city employees for a crime. I received a letter from the police department because I requested the officer that took the initial report, who didn't do it right, to be investigated. I received a letter from the police department saying I should file a lawsuit against the city. Thank you. I ascertained legal counsel because of this letter, because they told me there was no crime that had been committed. So you know what? I do have legal counsel now. And the other thing is this. All these merchants that are here today to speak up about the customer service, about the signage being cited unfairly, I hope you guys listen to them, because these people are the ones that are paying your paychecks at the end of the day. If these people close their businesses and leave, Calexico is going to be no more. And I hope I've been civil. I hope they don't call the police on me right now because I said what's on my mind. And Chief, I hope I didn't disrespect you. I'm not trying to cause any civil disturbance. Thank you for my 3 minutes. Have a good night, gentlemen, ladies.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang. I believe next person, Armando.
Broncas.
400 Emerson Avenue, Armando.
You've been on vacation too long, man.
He's been on vacation too long.
¿Qué tal? Buenas noches, mi nombre es Armando. Buenas noches a todo el público, al concilio. Yo vengo en representación de
¿Usted
los
último,
comerciantes.
último apellido?
Martínez, señor.
Martínez?
Sí, así
Thank
es.
you, sir.
Yo vengo en representación de los comerciantes que hemos sido afectados de una manera, pues vamos a decir que violatoria, ¿no? Porque nos han estado llegando algunas multas por los letreros que identifican nuestro negocio, no por promociones o cuestiones de temporada, sino lo que dice qué es lo que hacemos. Aquí han incurrido inclusive en algunas violaciones en el aspecto de que no están arrimándose con uno para darnos una advertencia o señalarnos en qué estamos mal. Sencillamente, únicamente se nos hizo llegar una multa. Nos acercamos con una de las personas aquí, con el señor Servín, y platicamos también con el señor Morales. Venimos precisamente a que nos den una respuesta favorable, no que nos prolonguen el asunto de que, sabes, que vamos a verlo y que no se llegue esto a nada, ¿no? Esperemos que tomen en cuenta nuestra petición, y tengo entendido que para el siguiente martes se va a tomar este tema. Y esperemos que tengamos una respuesta, ¿no? Porque en realidad somos un grupo bastante fuerte, algunos ya se fueron, pero señores, ustedes que están aquí y que son del concilio, que son los regidores, deben de tomar en cuenta y acercarse al comercio, que está muy castigado por las cuestiones de la economía. Entonces, lo vemos esto nosotros como una especie de cacería de brujas, en el sentido de que estamos debilitados y tratamos de hacer atractivos nuestros negocios de una forma u otra, y lo que encontramos aquí es una sanción, ¿no? De que pues no te anuncies, quita tus banderas, quita los caballetes, te vamos a cobrar cantidades realmente tontas, o sea, es una cantidad que nos está mermando, ¿no? Entonces, dejo en punto este asunto para que ustedes lo tomen en cuenta, y por favor el siguiente martes podamos ya tener una respuesta que sea favorable para todos los que estamos aquí reunidos. Es todo. Gracias. Y que
Muchas gracias.
I believe Mr. Won, I believe the council to send that for the planning commissions for about 2 months ago.
Yes, that was referred to the Planning Commission for a recommendation, so that's where it sits right now.
But what is the decision, anything discussed at the planning commission?
Is it going to be on the next agenda? Should be on the next agenda on the 13th. 13th. El día 13 a las 6:30 va a haber junta para hablar sobre ese tema.
Okay, and now, next person. Okay, public comments, and Laura Ortiz.
She left.
She left? Okay. The public comments for the other person is Sanchez Lima Sanchez? She left too? Oh, okay. Next person, Robert Sandoval. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have a business here in Calexico, and I received a letter full of codes that I didn't understand, and I came here to the office and tried to know what it is, and they told me that I have to figure it out myself, because they sent all this letter to all the business. So I went to my business and I said, well, everything is fine. I have my flags, my business sign. So, everything is fine. After 2 weeks, I received a fine. And I came here and I paid my fine. And what I asking is to help us, the city, to help us business. Because I want to receive a letter of City of Calexico that said what we can do for you, not fines. That's all.
I have a question. Who told you to figure it out yourself?
A person in the window where we pay the water bills.
You don't remember their name?
No, it was a guy, but I don't know.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, I think that one is, when we referring to the planning commission, we request to the city staff to lay down the enforcement until we figure out what's going on. And then our city staff, without the city council, the recommendation, just go to the finding the people.
No, I don't think we did, right?
Yes, we did.
I think Mayor's saying we told them to stop enforcing it.
Until we figure out what's going on.
No, that wasn't it. We've referred it to the Planning Commission, but the city has done nothing more than enforce the existing codes that were written in 2010. That was one of the things that came out of the city council retreat, that you wanted emphasis on code enforcement and to clean up the city, to make it more presentable. And so, we have carried out your directive in that regard. It's going to the Planning Commission. And this only relates, by the way, to banners, temporary sign, placards, the signs that you see, Monster drinks and stuff like that, so.
Well, what I remember when I made the motion to refer to the planning commissions, we made it at the same time, we made the recommendation to the city staff to lay down the enforcements.
We should just let it take its course, go to planning, and then come back to us, and we'll
Yeah, so
figure
that
it out.
we at the same time, we told the city staff, lay down the enforcement, whatever ticket issued, they have to pay, but we lay down for the future, lay down the enforcement.
That did not happen. We are just carrying out.
You can't do that.
So see the video then.
Tell the city manager not to enforce this, sir.
Okay. Next person, Robert Sandoval.
You'd have to, how would you do that?
Robert Sandoval. Oh. Is out there? He left. Thank you. Next person, the Luz Cañez. Luz Cañez. She left. Next person, Jesus Vega. The following person is Carolina Sánchez.
Hola, muy buenas tardes. Pues es referente igual a nuestros compañeros, es de acuerdo a los anuncios. Somos pequeños comerciantes, negocios que estamos abriendo, tenemos muy poco y nos llegó lo que es la multa, ¿no? Lo que comentaba aquí la persona, yo quiero saber a qué se refiere con anuncios temporales. Porque nosotros, comentaba las banderillas y todo eso, pero nosotros tenemos lo que son los anuncios fijos o permanentes. O sea, no entiendo ahí la incoherencia de cuáles se pueden llamar temporales o permanentes. De hecho, venimos a preguntar aquí y no nos supieron decir. O sea, de aquí no nos supieron decir cuál es la diferencia entre uno y otro, para nosotros saber, ¿no?, qué es lo que podemos hacer. Y te digo, estamos en la misma disposición de como comentaba aquí el cónsul, de apoyarnos. Yo creo que ahí pedimos que el próximo martes tengamos ya una respuesta definitiva. Pues digo, lamentablemente, pues vamos empezando y que nos lleguen con multas y por sí traemos, también nos llegaron los bomberos. Tenemos un cuarto muy chico y nos llegaron 3 inspectores en un cuarto como de, no sé, 5 por 5 metros. O sea, no entiendo yo cuál es la finalidad, ¿no? También ahí pido ese apoyo para este próximo martes y pues que nos definan ya bien ahí que respecto a lo que son los temporales, permanentes y que nos apoyen porque pues no hay que salir adelante aquí a Calexico, ¿no? Con nosotros, somos los que estamos aquí dándole vida a la gente aquí a Calexico. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Next person, Carolina Sánchez.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches. Vengo por el mismo punto de pequeños comerciantes. En enero fue cuando decidí yo poner mi negocio, vine a sacar mi permiso aquí a la ciudad. Ahorita nos pusieron hace unas semanas unas multas en las puertas. Yo no estaba en mi oficina y recibí una multa en la puerta, igual que todos los vecinos que estamos en el edificio. Y mi pregunta es, ¿por qué cuando yo no vine a sacar mi permiso de la ciudad con los requisitos, porque yo no sé los requisitos, por eso vine aquí con las muchachas. Solamente me dieron lo que yo requería, que eran el permiso de la ciudad, inspecciones, etcétera. Entonces, yo no sé, yo vengo con ellos, no nos dijeron, van a necesitar un permiso y para la publicidad, que obviamente es publicidad que nosotros necesitamos. Y pues eso solamente, que nos pongan atención a nosotros y nos ayuden a no... Son gastos para nosotros y queremos tener los negocios. Esto.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask
Yes.
a question?
Sure.
Would it be out of the ordinary for the staff to provide a type of workshop for business owners who are wanting to open up a business or be in compliance with the certain codes that we require them to be in compliance with?
There actually have been some workshops already done in conjunction with the chamber, but Julia, our economic development manager, is the point of contact to help businesses. Her job is to help facilitate, answer questions, and I would hope the public would take the opportunity if they have an issue or they need help with their business to contact her, because that's her job, is to help business, to make it easier.
Right, and I would like to see that our staff roll out the red carpet if someone
Right.
wants to open up a business.
And that's her job.
And make sure that all the questions that they have or all the concerns that are raised, and explain to them what they're going to be looking for so that they don't have to, come back to us and say, well, you didn't tell me this, or you did, like a checklist of sorts. And I think that would be, the best thing. That's all.
I know Julia has helped numerous people. They've come to the office, and her job is to, basically hold their hands, to meet with the various departments, to act as a facilitator, an ombudsman, to clarify, to get questions answered. She's point of contact, and she does an excellent job. And, I invite anybody that if they have an issue or problem, please go see Julia. She's there to help, and that's her job. We now have somebody dedicated solely to economic development and helping business in our community.
So I think that would also be something to put on our website and to get out there to the public.
Okay.
Mayor, I have a question. Mr. Richard Warren, when is going to be the next workshop for the merchants?
For the what? I'm sorry.
For the merchants, for the business persons?
I know they were talking about one at the 4th of July with the chamber. Oh yeah, Dave, or excuse me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
in fact, we got one coming up in conjunction with the chamber.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're going to be, actually, I'll see the flyer tomorrow so we can finalize it. July 29th, the Smart Buy Indoor Mall is providing the space for it, and we will be doing a small business basic seminar. It's about a 3.5 hour workshop. One of the points there will be on basic government regulations, which are all the permits, all the requirements, and we're going to talk about what the city can do and requires, and anything that has to do with the county, state, and federal. Because a lot of people on their small businesses, they do get involved in things outside of the county where they need regulations that they need to be aware of. So we'll get that information out. We discussed it with Mr. Warren so we can publicize it, but it will be a small workshop. I will be moderating and presenting the whole thing that night, but we will have someone from the city, hopefully, that will give us the government regulation. I'll be talking to Julia once I see that deal tomorrow. And I gave them an agenda today to discuss. It's basic, so we're not going into deep details, but we want them to know where they need to go, who to go to, and what they need to find out.
I have a quick question. I did speak to some of the business owners that are here before the council meeting. One of the questions that they did have was, is there going to be someone there that knows about ADA compliance?
Yes.
That's something that I know they had a lot of issues. There's people going around town suing business owners for ADA compliance. I know the city, it's not under the city's jurisdiction to check ADA compliance before issuing a business license, but hopefully someone's there that can help these people to get the ADA compliance in order.
One of the biggest problems for small businesses is legal representation. It's expensive. but we will have some information there on how they can go about that. And yeah, the ADA compliance lawsuits are statewide.
Yeah.
Some legal firms have been put out of business for doing that and as being predatory, but they went away for a while. They kind of come back, and I think we've had someone here in the Imperial Valley that's been hitting businesses. So, but there is a way of going around that and defending it, and it's just being aware. So hopefully at this workshop on the 29th of July, we can give you enough information on how to go about defending yourself from a lot of that. And anybody wants to talk to me, I'll be here out even too, and we'll get more information out to you as soon as we got that out.
Y por la gente que solamente habla español, pues quisiéramos invitarles para visitar Julia. Ella está encargada para ayudar los negocios en nuestra ciudad, porque ella está allá. Pues levante el mano y pues por favor pase por su oficina y ella puede ayudarles.
What?
You know, just do that in Spanish real quick. El 29 de julio de este mes va a haber un seminario sobre pequeño negocio. Va a ser en el Smart Buy. Mañana voy a ver la agenda final para empezar la publicidad. Y ahí vamos a poderles contestar muchas de estas preguntas. Estará alguien ahí de la ciudad para darles los requisitos y y pueden posiblemente contestar sus preguntas. Gracias.
Okay, next person is Silverio.
Muy buenas noches a todos. Estoy aquí también por la cuestión de los pequeños negocios, de los small business. Nosotros hemos sido intimidados también por las autoridades de Calexico con relación a las multas. No nos llega un aviso, sino nos llega una multa por $150. Cuando nosotros constituimos nuestro negocio, tuvimos una revisión y un permiso de que se pagó de lo que fue la ciudad de Calexico del edificio. Mas, sin embargo, nunca se nos dijo, se nos advirtió, se nos informó en qué reglamento íbamos a caer en cuanto al pago. Simplemente nos aceptan el pago, reciben el dinero sin darnos ningún tipo de información. Y pues ya después nos llegan con información que realmente desconocemos. Y es para también comentarles con respecto a lo que es la licencia de bomberos en nuestro caso. Nosotros recibimos lo que fue la revisión del Departamento de Bomberos. Posteriormente se nos da la autorización, viene y se hace el pago, pero sin embargo no se nos extiende aún la licencia, el documento. Entonces nos dicen que va a ser entregado por el Departamento de Bomberos y no nos lo llevan. Y sin embargo hemos tenido también intimidatoriamente visitas de los bomberos con revisiones. Ahorita mencionamos, tenemos un espacio muy pequeño de 5 metros por 5 metros. La vez pasada tuvimos que sacar a nuestros clientes para que entraran los 3 supervisores del Departamento de Bomberos. Entonces, cuando la licencia ya está pagada y aceptada por el mismo departamento. Entonces, también hacer una súplica para que se haga una revisión, qué es lo que pueda estar pasando con esas licencias, que no son expedidas y están pagadas. También pedirles el apoyo para la cuestión de no es en sí una publicidad la que nosotros tenemos. Tenemos unos letreros totalmente fijos, con una muy buena presentación. Inclusive los invito a que pasen a ver el edificio y la presentación que estamos manejando. No es una publicidad pasajera, son unos letreros de identificación de nuestros negocios. Entonces, pedirles su apoyo para que sí se vea esta situación de las multas que nos han estado llegando, para que pues, nos puedan dejar trabajar de por sí está lastimada la economía, y hablamos ahorita de un progreso de Calexico. Entonces yo pienso que todos podemos formar ese progreso, unidos, ¿verdad?
¿Qué dirección es el negocio?
38 West 4th Street.
Usted, nombre Silverio, apellido Quintero.
¿Y el nombre del negocio?
Calexico Office Supplies.
Thank you.
Correcto, gracias.
Okay, next person, Manuel Yanes. Next person, Eddie Guzman.
Ready? He's got your number.
Before Mr. Yanes talking, I'd like to have some directions to the city manager, if the council agrees it, to lay down the code enforcement on the sign until figured out.
I was informed by our city attorney that that's not possible unless
Well,
you change the ordinance.
Well, first of all, that's not on the agenda for tonight, so you can't take
No, I
any
mean
action with
directions.
respect to that, including directing staff
Okay.
with respect to that.
Okay, thank you.
We have to change the ordinance.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Yanes?
My name is Manuel Yañez. I live here in Calexico for the last 28 years. Congratulations, Mr. Kim, Mr. Castro.
Thank you.
You deserve it. You've been working here hard in the community. And you represent a portion of the citizens, and you now represent everyone in the city. You were elected by a portion of the city, and now you represent everyone in the city. A few days ago, I sent you a letter, council members. I emailed to you a letter a week ago. So far, I haven't received any backup, not an email, none. I believe every one of you had it. I sent a copy to Mr. Warren, and I sent a copy to Mr. Servin. I still had the same issue related with my business license, that I was forced illegally, what I believe it was illegal, to pay a fine or to be charged for 5 years. You already know about it. Please, let me fix this on this table here with my fellow citizens. I wrote you a letter, and I just went out because I had 3 minutes only. It was a long letter, three sheets, and I prepared it myself. I had a few questions. Am I required to pay a business license as a consultant without business established within the city limits? Please show me the ordinance. If I am, I will be more than happy to comply. Those are just $100. It's not $100. It's the way that Mr. Warren treat me. I had another question. How did the city manager staff obtain such a big penalty, almost 5 years, without any proof that I was providing engineering service to my clients? That's the second question. My third question is, will you enforce the same rule to every consultant? To everyone, and when I'm talking to every consultant, I say lawyers, accounting, everyone. Service provider or professional with impartiality? The last portion of my letter says, I really appreciate that I can have all these clarifications made as soon as possible. I prefer not to continue digging into this subject, and I would like to turn the page over. I prefer all these clarifications should be made by you or you designated. I would not like to have this issue resolved on another table. And when I say another table, you know what I mean. And I have all the proofs that everything that was done to me, I believe for myself, it was illegal. I already sent it to you, and please do not ignoring me. No me ignoren, por favor. Yo soy una persona que no para hasta que llega al final. Así tarde años. ¿Lo entendieron? Por favor, no me ignoren. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Yanes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eddie Guzman. I want to congratulate Mr. Kim for becoming the mayor and Mr. Castro. I really wanted to speak at that time, but I guess we submitted our request without putting the item number, so we were left at the end. But anyway, just, my point was that, I was in the city council here back in the 90s, 94 through 98. And I was one of those unfortunate two that was jumped over our mayorship. And I remember me and Mr. Rioseco I was going to be the mayor, Mr. Rioseco would be the mayor pro tem, and it happened like that, and we told them, this is not correct, it's going to affect in the future, and this is where we're ended up right here. But it happens here in Calexico, unfortunately, sometimes people that were born here, if it was up to them as the immigration officers, they would not give us U.S. citizenships. They would not. We'll still be in Mexico. Get the hell out of here, But, sometimes we need a little opportunity, and I'm glad that you guys have come up to work out better, and Mandy, I think, is working real good, and if everybody works good this time, it's going to be great for the city of Calexico. I do speak for the business people of Calexico. It's really tough. The peso is going down, and people are not coming to buy anymore. So it's really tough to give them on the first time a ticket for $150. It's tough. So I encourage you to please review that and make sure you give warnings or something. These workshops, it's going to help, because people they come here to look for the American dreams, and they end up with an American nightmare. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. Okay, now we come to the...
I submitted mine with number 13 and public announcements.
13?
You already had your chance.
It's a negative over. I've never been negative than 2 years ago. Javier Gonzalez, I'm here representing the Neighborhood Watch, Kennedy Gardens Neighborhood Watch, about 237. It's been 22 years, 17 years since we started Neighborhood Watch at Kennedy Gardens. The reason for that was we didn't want our neighborhood to become a bad neighborhood. It was bad. There were gangs. The graffiti was everywhere. There was crime. So we started it, and I took the lead. And believe me, I got stabbed. I got beaten. My cars got burned. But I kept my word that I was going to do what I was going to do. We lowered the crime. But one of the problems was that the city. For 20 years, Mr. Ortega and Mr. Rioseco were here. They approved our parks. Before that, our parks were dark. There was no grass, nothing. There was nothing to do there but smoke weed and do crime, I think. Well, it's been 20 years, and just finally last week, the city completed one section. I'm here to give them thanks. I mean, I've been here coming, but just finally they completed one section, which is in the corner of Rockwood and Espinosa, with the addition of the swings, new drinking fountain, trees, new walkways, shade, and benches. And I thank them for that. I just wanted to know that we have been irrigating the parks for 10 years. I haven't asked for the free. I took the responsibility to irrigate the parks for 10 years. I've been doing it. Thanks to Mr. Warren, they installed timers. I mean, I've been crying for the timers for years, for the cameras. But I'm just here to thank you, all of you, that section of the park has been completed. Mr. Warren, we met on August last year. We still have, on the main park, we still have the main irrigation. They were broken when they put the basketball court 18 years ago, and they haven't been fixed. I mean, that's that in the parking lot and the speed bumps, that's all we need. And you won't hear from me anymore. I mean, but it's been 20 years we've been here. I've been bugging the city administration, but thank you. That part of the park is complete now.
Is that a promise?
A what?
Is that a promise?
What's the promise? Well, Mr. Kim, you're now the responsible for that.
We have spent a lot more time in the parks working on them. In addition to what you just talked about, we're also going to put curb wall and pave the parking lot, and we're going to replace the backstop. Backstop's already arrived. It just has to be put up.
Okay, thank you. If the public members know,
good
there's
news.
no public comments. So let's go to I believe Ms. Hurtado wants to talk.
Yes, she had some items she wanted to speak on, but uh-oh.
But things we don't have it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I did see him turn it in. It's at the end.
I want the cameras to
But the number 16.
This is number 7th time that I've been passed by, I've been waiting patiently, and I'm getting frustrated here.
Okay, it's right
All right?
Sometimes it's hard to read your writing,
Each one
Mr.
of you needs to pay attention to what's handed down to you, and I'm gonna do a suggestion to you. Write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can go down the line further. Mr.
Have
Javier
a
Gonzalez, nothing personal against him, but he spoke already once.
Go ahead, senor.
Yeah, right. I don't think I have to tell you my name again. The name is John Romo, and first of all, I'd like to acknowledge your mayorship. Mr. Real, those were very good words. You mentioned it right in the nose. Back in my days in the 60s, there was a protocol.
Good old days.
It was a rotation. And since I don't deal with personalities, I thought that was going to take place today. It doesn't matter who is the next one. They all have a responsibility, and that's the way it is. Maybe when your turn comes up, that will be your responsibility. But in the meantime, Mr. Kim, congratulate you. Mr. Castro and everyone down the line. I hold no personal issues against no one. This is all about programs, services, and what's right and what's wrong. And maybe I've heard a lot of complaints, and maybe this time you can start working together and come to a unity of services. And you are colleagues, people represented you. This is not what I intended to say anyway. What I intended to say is, when are you going to conclude the appointments to the senior commission? We need that very much, and I believe I spoke that with Councilman Real, and we need that very much. We need to go forward with it. I need to develop that with Mr. Warren, assistance, of course. We need to develop proper bylaws and speed up this process. You only need to appoint 2 persons from the senior developments. That's 1. So maybe, hopefully, in your next regular meeting or special meeting, you can appoint someone. Number 2, I'm not even going to look at my notes. Number 2 is one of my dearest projects that I've been, I am a co-founder of a resident organization. I was asked by some commissioners from the housing authorities, to establish another resident council.
Mr. Romo, you got past the time, 3 minutes. The wrap up, please.
I am sorry, but...
wrap up, please.
No, thank you. I'm sorry, but I need to finish this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you the chance to wrapping up.
Thank you.
30
Thank
seconds,
you for consideration. I've been asked from some housing authority commissioners to start a brand new council, because this will have a 501c3, a nonprofit status. I am pursuing grants to work with the city of Calexico to do above-line services so they can be visible in the housing projects. And I'm going there. It won't take place until September, October. But my intent is to work with the city and, of course, with the police department. And that's us. And the other...
Please wrapping up, please, because we got past the 3 minutes already, and I'll give you 30 seconds to finish. Please, can you finish?
Yeah.
To wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, if you have any more public comments?
Yeah. Well, all I said that I was going to give it to the police department or the city of Calexico, which Mr. Warren is in front. Yes.
Mr. Romo, you got enough time. Please come to the next meeting to...
I waited for you, and you let somebody else spoke.
Okay, I cannot give you the time forever. I already give you 3 minutes, and I extend the time for you.
All right, Mr. Mayor. right, Mr. Mayor.
Please cooperate with us.
I am going to cooperate with you.
Yes, but you got to spend your time.
What's that?
You got to spend the 3 minutes already. And plus, I give you the extra time. Please to come to next meeting.
I thought it was only 3 minutes only. But anyway, I said what I
Thank
had
you.
to say.